I'm going to tell you how I got to the infantry school at Fort Benning, Georgia. Earlier, I had been at Los Alamos, New Mexico, when the Manhattan Project was converted to the Atomic Energy Commission. Well, I didn't want to become a civilian with the Atomic Energy Commission, so I decided that I would stay in the Army. I went down to the personnel office and I said, "What is my MOS, Military Occupational Specialty?" Oh, they said, "You are a high-speed code operator with knowledge of the Morse and the international codes." Well, I don't know either of these codes. Didn't know them then, don't know them today. So I said, "Look, I don't want to be transferred as a radio operator." They said, "Well, why don't you apply for officer candidate school?" So I said, "Okay, I'll do that. But if you apply for officer candidate school, you have to take the OCT, the officer's candidate test." Well, I went, I took the test. The fellow said to me, "Why, aren't you going to finish the test?" I said, "Well, I finished it." And I turned it in, and I apparently passed it, because the next thing I knew, I was on my way to Fort Benning, Georgia, where they had the infantry school. I was a member of the Army Officer Candidate class. Now, what they do at the infantry school is they try to weed out the candidates they think are not really suitable for the infantry. And guess what? I was one of the candidates that they picked out to weed out. And the way they weed them out is they give the candidates assignments and they grade them on the assignments. So I was getting all the different assignments. But every assignment, and when you got an assignment, you got a written classification. You could get superior, excellent, satisfactory, unsatisfactory. Well, the ones that I got were all marked very unsatisfactory. Well, I had so many of these very unsatisfactory reports that I had to appear before a board of colonels. And I went to the board of colonels. There were, as I recall, there was the colonel-in-chief, and he had assistant colonels on either side. And the man who had given me all of these classifications was there. He was called a tactical officer. And the colonel said to the tactical officer, "We see that this candidate had performed Training Circular 87, which was instructing the group in the squat jump." And the tactical officer said, "Yes." And he said, "We see you gave this candidate a very you marked him, you didn't mark him unsatisfactory, you said very unsatisfactory." And the tactical officer said, "Yes." He said, he's not really able to do a good job. He really doesn't belong here at the infantry school." And the colonel said, "You know, the infantry school had an advisor there who witnessed what this candidate had done. He said it was the best performance of TC-87 that he's seen at the infantry school." Guess what? After that, I didn't get any more unsatisfactory observations. And in fact, I wound up commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Army.